We had the last conversation on how grades are awarded. We ended that unit speaking to how the grades are awarded in the case study paper. All right. Let's look at the next conversation or the next unit around how numerical work is awarded, your appendices, your numbers crunched. How are they rewarded? A lot of people think if they do a lot of calculations, no matter how complex they are, they will earn the marks that will get them through. But you must understand that calculations are always required to establish mathematical facts, and not just at the case study exams, other exams, which case study is one of them. Marks awarded in the appendix for appropriate calculations and for appropriate numerical work should be integrated into the main report. So your marks is very meager. If you leave the appendices alone, you will not pass. So you need to spread those appendices across the boxes. Spread them across all the 8 boxes, the skill areas where they are needed. Appendices without the body of the report is work not done at all. So marks are awarded in the appendices for appropriate calculations, very low, meager marks, but then your numerical work and integrating them into the main report is what earn you the fat and heavy marks. Take note of that. So for appendices, all significant calculations should be given marks, very low. All relevant and concise, not irrelevant standard ratios, because in most case study exams, for especially requirement 1, that the examiner maybe ask you to do some ratios. He won't ask you the 5 classes of ratios. He won't ask you all of them: profitability, liquidity, long-term solvency, activity, and investment. He won't ask you that. He will ask you key ratios that relate to the case. He may ask you to do 3 out of those components. He may ask you to do 2. So irrelevant ratios will not get you the marks. Sticking to his requirement and his prompt, his request, is what will give you the marks for calculating or crunching the numbers in the appendices. Also, clearly labeled appendices with workings explained that are needs that helps the reader to follow through. So, for example, your second box on professional tools should be able to link or cross-reference your appendices. So the second box of your discussion should be professional tools. Third box is analytical skills. So whatever you've done in the appendix, always cross-reference it in those 2 major boxes. Very important. So for professional tools, you need to tell your audience that, see, the gross profit of this company is on the high side, and this is the reason. Because cost of sales was low and revenue has increased. You now say, see Appendix 1. Or see Appendix 1A. You see that cross-referencing earns you very significant marks. You are labeling your workings and explaining them, which is called cross-referencing. So any numbers crunched, whether for requirement 1 and 2, and you are explaining them in the boxes. Professional tools, box 2, analytical skills, box 3. Please always cross-reference the appendix. See Appendix 1, see Appendix 2. I tell you the truth, you will just keep earning your marks very seamlessly. And that's what it means to clearly label your workings with the explanation, which will be easy to follow through. Also, you need to state all the assumptions used from the beginning of the report. If you assume the life cycle stage of that business, you need to state the assumption clearly. If it's not the life cycle, any assumptions you used, please state it, whether from the introductory part of the report, from the beginning aspect, or within the body of the work. Any way you want to integrate it, please state your assumptions clearly. You are allowed to assume, that's why they are assumptions, they are not realistic, but then your assumptions should culminate in realistic analysis of the exhibits. Also, any contained key information integrated into the report should be clearly stated. Don't bring in information that is not there, but any information that will help your analysis can be integrated that are not assumptions. Maybe skepticisms, maybe thoughts that you feel could resonate with the case. You could provide them, integrate them into the body of the report. Because your translation of initial grades to final marks are that you provide superior achievement 4. minimum competent achievement, 3 superior arguments. Don't go below competent achievement, which is 2. And if you provide just 1 for each box, 1 competent achievement, which is recommended. Void is you didn't even talk about anything. And your maximum mark is 25 by 4 boxes based on your assessment. So you're supposed to have pass mark of 50. I don't think 50 should be a challenge coming by in the case study paper if you truly prepare for it. One of the challenges students have is you hear people say they scored 2, they scored 3, they scored 4 in case study. That means there's a fundamental challenge. There's something fundamental you are doing wrongly. Like maybe writing the appendix in the first page of the report, then continuing the report. Maybe out of pressure, you came late, you just pick the paper and the next thing you start writing, doing your calculations in the first page. Then you go to the next page or 2-3 pages, do executive summary, or go to the, I mean, that's disorganization. Most examiners don't read those kind of scripts. They just, okay, thank you for coming. They just give you 2 or 3, go. So proper planning, proper structure, proper practice will get you that. In the first exam, you just come into the paper, you structure your script. The first page is executive summary. Sorry, the first page is cover page. The second page is executive summary. Third page is executive summary. 2 pages maximum. Next page is introduction. Next page is background. Then next page is, so you structure those pages before you start the appendices. So maybe before you even start appendices, you will have mapped out 25 free scripts, depending on how much you write. And you should know how to do that by practice. So please, structure is key. And structure, I would say, is king. You must provide structure in the case study exam so you don't be marked down. Some examiners don't even read the scripts. Tell you this is a total waste of my time. He'll come back if he gets himself together. He'll come back, or she'll come back and write this paper. That's what examiners do. So when somebody tells me it scores 2, 3, I'll be like, how possible? There's something fundamental you did wrong. He did not read the script. I mark scripts. I give mock exams to physical students I tutor in Kano. There are some scripts, when I see them, I just give you 5. Thank you for writing the mock exams. It's normal. You just did trash. What you did is trash. That's the truth. I just give you 5 and tell you, well, when you are ready, you get prepared for case study. Okay, so that's how numerical work are awarded. Please try to cross-reference them, link them to your thoughts, to your discussions. Very, very important. Okay, any questions on that, on numerical marks? Do you have any questions so that we can run to the next unit? Any questions? Okay, if we don't have any questions, then let's move. Let's go to Unit 9. What is an appropriate grade profile? Somebody may ask, what is an appropriate grade profile in the case study paper? What is an appropriate grade profile? So, an appropriate grade profile ranges or varies by paper. So, aiming for 50% is passing grade, which is competent or superior achievement. If you provide 3, 3, 3, 3, you should be able to rank around 50%. But I always suggest to my students that no, don't plan for 50, plan for at least 70, 80 and work towards it. And if you do superior achievement, you score around 70 to 80 in each requirement too. This is to ensure that you pass comfortably. So aim for 70, 80, not just in the case study paper, any other paper. When I wrote SFM the first time, I didn't have any grade. I didn't have any goal. I just said, let me score 50 in SFM. And the result came out very bad. Second result, I said, no, I will score 70 in SFM. And second try, I scored 56, even though question 1 was horrible. I didn't even know what question 1 was all about. 30 marks. That diet was terrible. But then second diet or second try, I was able to say, okay, I will score 70. Let me work towards 70. But at least I came up with a score of 56. I still passed anyway. So please don't come up with low grades in your planning or in your goal setting. Please write something that will push you to work harder. And even if you fall below, you won't fall so far down below 50%. So in speaking to the grades, what is an appropriate grade profile? Applying previous knowledge, your grade relates to applying professional skills and business knowledge, which is good technical grounding in the case study paper is very essential. So the previous knowledge, like I said, in other papers will really bring to bear, like Dara was asking or speaking to non-financial data and integrating them like competitiveness. So some of those thoughts, some of those concepts, frameworks, you need to harness them, especially when you see some exhibits, and it will provide clear context. Those business knowledge and technical gathering could fine-tune your thoughts in penning down your submissions in your write-ups. You also need to understand business life cycle. Like I said, a lot of assumptions could be around business life cycle. Business life cycle idea speaks to the four stages of a business, speaking to the startup, the growth stage, the maturity stage, and the decline stage, and also the extinction stage. So you need to understand that business life cycle to be able to assume where a business is. So when presented with exhibits, you should be able to know where that business is on its life cycle stage. And that should form some significant basis of your assumptions, because this is crucial for the appropriate framework you provide in discussions on the financial business strategy or how to transform the business. You need to identify the early stage as it has some form of pervasive impact on that business. So if you say a business is in the maturity stage, then you see it's at its peak, it's making significant profit. It's heavily doing well. It's at its maturity stage. But if you say the business is assumed to be at a startup stage, then maybe it's having losses, significant losses, heavy losses. So you are assuming it's at its startup stage. But if it's within its growing stage, you see that losses are reducing. They are making maybe small profit, organic profit, and all that. And that assumption will help provide context to what advice, what you speak to the owners or the audience or the examiner in that report. This is very important. So you need to understand business life cycle stage in case study. You need to also understand your role. So most of the time, the examiner will say you are a final year student in professional practice in a company, employed or secondment. So your role provides the appropriate prospect for your output. So your role is very important. So in the case study exam, you are a particular person, not your actual identity. You are a particular person. So wear the heart of that person in the case study paper. Think like that person. So you are a final year secondment, you are a manager in an audit firm, you are a qualified chartered accountant. So you need to understand your role and play that role. It's like a movie. Most movie actors act based on a script, and they wear the heart of that person in that script. They assume they are that person. So that's how the case study paper is. And that helps you provide your output, which gets you examined and marked. Also, the report structure and communication skills is very important. Who you report to are very key, speaking to the kind of report or output you provide. Your employer or your clients provide two main sessions around integrative, analytical, and evaluative skills. Your appendices, which are detailed analysis and calculations, are actually rewarded separately. And your executive summary are also required, very importantly. So these are the nitty-gritties and very important areas you need to speak to in understanding how the appropriate grade profile is provided in the case study paper. All right. If we don't have any questions, the next and second to the last output or unit is quality versus quantity, which is important in the case study paper. Is it how much I write or how well I write? This is key. So passing depends on what you write, not how much. You could write 20 pages and pass, and you could write 40 pages and fail. You could also write 40 pages and pass, and write 20 pages and fail. It all depends on what you write. So aim for relevant content. Whatever is your input or your output should be rich with comprehensive thoughts, value, solve the problem based on the requirements, provide advice that will move the company forward. Like I said, the case study paper is a problem presented to you. So as a chartered accountant in practice, in making, you need to solve that problem. And that is what the case study is all about. So voluminous scripts, often padded with irrelevant material, leading to time management issues, will not get you through the paper. So you need to practice around penning down very, very contextual and relevant thoughts will get you through the paper. Very relevant thoughts. So it's not volume now. You could write volume and relevant. And you could also write volume and irrelevant material. So aim for context. Read through the lines. If you read my report, you understand how to tell a financial and non-financial story. Read most of my reports. You see a lot of thoughts, not too much volume. Most of the times I don't go more than 30 pages because they are typed. Sometimes you even see 23 pages, 25, depending on data that are analyzed. So please aim for relevant content. That's what we are saying. Write very decipherable, relevant and comprehensive content for your reader to resonate with. That is what we speak to on quality versus quantity. Very key. So finally, if we don't have any questions, let's move to exam focus, which is the main area of this assessment procedure. Any questions? If you have any question, please interject freely.
Yes, sir.
Oh, please. Yes.
Sir, please. What's the minimum number of pages of reports someone can write that will be a bit voluminous?
There's no minimum, there's no maximum. It all depends on your thought. For me, 20 pages is minimum. For me, 20 pages is minimum. And maximum maybe 30 to 40 pages. So you could take extra script depending on the font, depending on your largeness of handwriting. It's a paper, it's a writing-based paper, though very soon they are transiting to computer-based. So you guys should do and pass before you get to the computer-based wahala, where you have to learn how to type and all that, use a computer. So, but for now, it's a writing paper. So you could write minimum. My minimum is maybe 20, 30, 23 pages. When I was practicing, I could remember. The minimum I do for the whole report plus accessory appendices is 23. Then the maximum I've gone, I think, is 30 to 35 pages. So it all depends on how much you write, how well you write, your fonts, and how much you print, the size of your fonts and your writing. It depends. So there's no hard and fast rule. There's no minimum, there's no maximum. It just depends on how much you practice. Yeah. All right, so good questions you're bringing on. I love them. Okay, so let's look at the examination focus. To be successful in the case study exams, number one is to read the requirements carefully. So what I do is, when I pick the paper and they say you can start, I don't even read through the exhibit one, the pre-seen or the unseen. That time there was no pre-seen; it was just one full exhibit. The unseen and pre-seen was merged. So I don't read I go to the requirements. Immediately I pick the paper, I go to the requirements first. What am I supposed to do? When I read the requirement once, read it twice, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Then I'll go to the exhibit. It will now tell me, the requirement will be ringing in my head as I'm reading the exhibit. Okay, this is what you are required to do. This is what you are required to do. So whichever method for you works for you, understanding the requirements carefully and providing answers to that request, restricting it to only what is asked, is very important. So that's why I go to read the requirement first before I go to the exhibits. When I read the requirements, I know what I'm supposed to do. Then the exhibits will now guide me. It will now provide the data I need to write the requirement. So if the other way around is yours, you like to read the exhibits, fine, whatever works for you, fine, but please understand the requirements. It's very important. Don't go outside the requirement and don't be contextual in the requirements. Make sure you respond to the requirements pragmatically and very explicitly. This cannot be oversized. So read it carefully. Underline it if you take note of words. And where there is Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, you have started getting confused. Is it 4 requirements or 3 requirements? No. Merge requirement 1. It may be Roman numeral 1, 2, 3. The merge requirement 2, it may be Roman numeral 4, 5, 6. Whatever it is, merge them. Look for junction words where he says and or comma, then continues in one. Match them together. They are just 2 requirements, no 3 requirements, no 4. So you don't get confused. So read it carefully, understand it, and go back to the task. So to be successful, also assess financial data to identify appropriate analytical tools. Financial data around financial statements, how many of them is ESCI? Did they provide balance sheet? Did they provide cash flow? Did they provide sources? Are there other notes to the account? Identify and assess this financial data for you to be able to appropriately analyze from the calculations and integrate them into your reports. Very important. So assess financial data to identify your appropriate financial tools. Also use the tools for detailed calculations in the appendices. You need to take those financial data from the pre-seen or the unseen. We saw in this last diet, he didn't even bring any financial data in the pre-seen. He just brought numerical data. Then brought all the calculations in the unseen. So anything is possible in the case study. He has never done that in previous diet. We just saw it in this last diet, May 20. He didn't bring any numbers in the pre-seen. He has never done that. So that shows that he's going towards a lot of report writing. So you need to fine-tune your report writing. It's not all about numbers now. He wants you to be prepared to write. So there were no numbers in the pre-seen of last diet. And he integrated some sustainability discussions. And if you look at the current study text, a lot of sustainability is being talked about. A full chapter was dedicated to sustainability in the... Sorry, somebody is trying to interject. Okay, I thought somebody was trying to say something. So try to ensure that you use the tools in the appendices. That's what I was talking about. So I was gravitating towards saying something about sustainability when I lost my thought. Somebody interjected. Okay, so sustainability, like I said, there were no... Okay, I was talking about the pre-seen, pardon me. I said in the pre-seen, there were no... In the last diet, there were no numbers. But then, try to use the tools in the numbers in the unseen. The pre-seen will soon be out, so we'll see what he's up to in this next diet. So try to use the tools for detailed calculations in the appendices. Also label and explain all your appendices and the calculations. Label the appendix 1. If you have appendix 1A, stratify it. 1B is appendix 2, which is requirement 2. So make appendix 1 your requirement 1's calculation. Then make appendix 2 your requirement 2's calculation. If you're presented with a model, provide the appendices of the model. If you remember the diagram, if it is SWOT analysis, if it is value chain, I believe by now you have practiced all those models. So understand the model. So if he asks you to use a model for any requirement, whether 1 or 2, just place a diagram of the model in your appendices, then explain it in the numbers. So where you talk about professional tools now is that model you use as your professional tools. So I have a lot of videos, a lot of reports on models. He has not tested model for like 2-3 diets now. So in case he brings any model and asks you to use that model, please understand some models. There are about 15 strategic management tools, which are models, and we have about 12. Is it 12? Are they up to 12? I think 10 to 12 performance management tools. So you need to understand some of them to be able to use these tools for detailed calculation, explanation in the appendix, and also integrating them into the report. Also, you need to bring key appendix information into the report. Not everything in the appendix is necessary. You need to bring key information and provide superior achievement for arguments on those key appendices that affects or bedevils the company very practically. Also, you need to analyze information logically and explain the analysis. So after analyzing your computations, you need to explain them logically in the analysis and cross-reference them. Just in bracket, if you've spoken to a line of thought, you say see appendix 2, see appendix 1. By integrating your numbers, try to tell the story. The story should be very seamless and sweet to read. Next is to evaluate initial analysis and identify critical factors. So from your use of data and information, and also down to your conclusions and recommendations, you need to provide context initially and at the end of your story. Very key. Also, professional skepticism is very important, and an area around a component of the report you must provide is ethical issues. You need to speak to ethical issues, evaluate information on quality, source experts, skeptical areas where the company is not complying to rules and regulations or ethical issues in the case. You need to provide as a separate header. Also, you need to consider information provenance, speaking to provider and creation purpose. What does that mean? It means that the information you are provided with in the exhibits needs to provided by you. Your clarity on those information needs to be clear. So whatever it is in the exhibits, bring to light whatever is dim, whatever is gloomy. Make it clear for your readers. So create something good and decipherable is what you're supposed to do, and part of your task in the case study reporting. Also, you need to explain critically and evaluate assumptions, and also apply judgment around your evaluative skills and judgment in the sixth box. Where necessary, you can use sensitivity analysis to flex critical numbers where necessary. That's why he's saying if needed. Flex critical numbers. Sensitivity analysis helps you in analyzing some scenarios that are complex around sales, assumption figures, sales volume, profit volume mix. You could use sensitivity analysis to flex these numbers where necessary. And very importantly, you need to make decisions and state your conclusions under a header. Without doing this, just these two instructions around conclusions and recommendations, if you don't do this, you will not pass case study. The examiner will ask you to come back by either providing 10 marks, 4 marks, 5 marks. So you must make logical conclusions, decisive conclusions under a separate header, and also present practical and commercial recommendations as the 7th and the 8th box for superior achievements. Very important to take note of. Very important. So that's it about the exam focus, and this is very important for us to go through before we go through hopefully chapter 11, chapter 12 and chapter 13, and also see if we have time. If we don't have time, we'll stop lectures conclusively or officially on Sunday. I'll provide recordings if we didn't look at November 2020 and May 2025, and also the pilot papers. I'll do separate recording. I'll try my best to provide that for you, and also the report as we are reading through and preparing. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of this chapter. By Friday, we should be able to look at chapter 12 and chapter 13, which is chapter 12 is technological tools for businesses. And that's a very important chapter because technology is driving case studies, driving every form. Okay, his hands are up. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, sorry, sir. I just want to ask, I want to know if marks are awarded for page numbering as well.
Not really. So your pages are already numbered by ICAN. The only thing is that where you are having additional script, of course, I too asked for additional script. Where you need additional script, you need to number them. So those additional script where you put slips or you put ropes to affix after you've provided your information, you need to number those extra pages. But in answering you succinctly, no, marks are not awarded for page numbering because the numbers are already pre-numbered by ICAN, or the documents provided to you are pre-numbered. So the answer is no. No answer. No marks for that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you for that question. All right, so any other questions? So before he interjected, I was sharing some thoughts on chapter 12, technological tools for business. And also I said being tech savvy now is the in thing for accountants. Aside having the ICAN certificate, if you are not tech savvy, then it will be hard for you to succeed in the business space. So tech savviness was chartered accountants are very important. And anything that will drive you towards being tech savvy, understand technological tools for business, please employ it. Employ it. Very key. And the next chapter, or the last chapter we'll be looking at, is soft skills for accountants, emotional intelligence, and blockchain, and a lot of tools, critical thinking, analytical thinking, very, very powerful tools, soft skills, emotional intelligence. We need it. So please, hopefully we'll look at that on Friday. We should be able to look at those two chapters so that we can conclude on the study text. Then we'll sit down and face past questions and answers. Very key. Don't forget, we have key tasks. November 2020 dot mark. May 2025, which is either Dibron or Difron manufacturing. Then the case study pilot paper. Those 3 papers. If we don't have questions, if we don't have live classes, I'll do a recording. I'll try to do a recording as much as I'm engraced. Yes. I spoke to that. I know a lot of people are expecting their scripts, which is part of my commitment, and the assignment I will definitely mark. It's taking a lot of time, so please pardon me. That's because I've not settled. I've been so choked. But the mark assignment will definitely be marked, and you'll get your feedback. At least exams are by today. Tomorrow we are 20 days to exam, so you need to get our feedback. So as soon as possible, hopefully weekend, I should be able to do that and get it across. So please pardon me on that.
All right.
Thank you for your understanding. Okay, so having said that and the plans, we've just rounded up this chapter. And don't forget, we always have quiz sessions on each chapter just to test our understanding to see if we understand what we've spoken to. All right, so before we close for the night, can we go through our quiz questions? We just have 5 of them, so just provide your answer succinctly, and we'll see if you understand the assessment procedure of the case study paper. All right, so we are 10 on the call currently, so as is our custom, you just provide your answers based on the options. And if you are attending for the first time, we normally use initials to ask our questions. So currently we have AK, we have AA. AA has been quiet, so he didn't ask any question today. Right, we have AO, then we have EA, then we have EO, and we have Lara. Let me use LU for Lara. Then we have MM. I think I'm saying MM for the first time. Then we have OD. Okay, let me use ODO since we have 2 OOs. Then I'll use OO. Then I'll use PU. Okay, so we have AK, we have AA, we have AO, we have EA, we have EO, LU, MM, ODO, OO, and PU. So 10 of us on the call. So let's get through this test very quickly before we shut down for the night. All right, so let's go to question 1. Pardon me. What is the maximum total score obtainable in the ICAN case study exams based on the 25 skill boxes? A, 50, B, 75, C, 100, D, 120. AK, what's your pick?
C.
Okay. AA, what's your pick? AA, you are muted if you're speaking.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at it because
You don't want to rush an answer.
I don't want to rush. I'm looking at D because we have 20 marks for some executive summary, and the other one sums up. I think it's C.
Okay, you're aligning with AK. All right. AO, what's your pick? I hope AO has not slept off. I hope she's still with us.
Yes, I'm here.
Ah, fantastic. Because I know you used to have hectic days.
Yes, I did actually have one too today.
I guessed as much. All right. So what's your pick for question 1?
C.
Okay. You're also going for C. All right. EA, what's your pick? Is EA with us? I hope you are with us. You're muted if you're speaking. Hope he's not dozed off. All right. Let's go for EO now. EO, what's your pick for question 1? O2 seems not to be with us. Okay, let's wait for them. Lara, let's go for LU. Lara, are you there? What's your pick?
I'll say C.
Okay, LU is going for C. All right. I think I'm saying MM for the first time. Mamma mia. All right, MM, what's your pick for question 1?
B.
You're already unmuted, so you can just pick.
B.
Okay, changing the whole narrative. You're going for B. All right. Who said B? Bao Kolode. That's her pick, so it's her right. And she may score, she may have the mark, who knows? We'll see on Judgment Day. All right, so ODO, what's your pick?
C.
Okay, still going for C. All right. Oh, what's your pick?
C, sir.
Okay. PU, what's your pick? Peter is leaving. I hope you're not leaving because of you're supposed to speak, or maybe it's network. Let's assume it's network. You come back and answer now. Voila. All right. Let's go to number 2. Which of the following statements best describe a superior achievement grade? A, partial understanding with evidence for at least 2 criteria. B, relevant evidence for most criteria, at least 4, and full understanding of the requirement. C, sparse or little evidence provided. D, no evidence of understanding demonstrated. Which of the following statements best describes a superior achievement grade? AK, what's your pick? Okay, went for B. All right. AA, what's your pick?
That's a B. B.
B, all right. AO, what's your pick?
B.
Okay, AO is going for B. All right, do we have EA and EO on the call now? Are you there? EO and EA. Oh, no. I think EO is off the call. Okay, so let's go for Lara. LU, what's your pick?
I'll take B.
Okay, LU is going for B. AO, what did you go for? Sorry, I wrote AO. What did you go for?
B.
Okay, AO went for B. Good. All right, so let's go for MM. MM, what's your pick?
I'm going with B.
B, okay. ODO, what's your pick?
B.
Right, B2. Majority are going for B. All right, OO, what's your pick?
B.
Yeah, OO, B. PU is not back. Okay, so let's see. Question 3. In the ICAN case study, how many executive summary assessment boxes are used to assess the summary of the report? A, 2, B, 5, C, 8, D, 4. In the ICAN case study, how many executive summary assessment boxes are used to assess the summary of the report? AK.
5.
Okay, and that's option B, I assume. All right. AA.
Yeah, B, sir.
B2. Okay. AO.
B.
Okay. EA, EO. Are you back? I doubt as much. All right. So LU, what's your pick? You're muted if you're speaking, Lara. What's your pick? Excuse me.
B, sir.
Okay. B. LU is going for B. All right. MM, what's your pick?
It's 5. B.
B. All right. Okay. ODO, what's your pick?
B.
Okay. Majority are going for B. Finally, OO, what's your pick?
B.
Okay. Everybody went for the same option. All right. We'll see on Judgment Day. Number 4. Which of the following is not a guideline for effective communication in the report? A. Avoid using technical jargon. B. Use casual phrases and informal tone. C. Be tactful and succinct. D. Be professional and avoid indiscreet comments. Which of the following is not a guideline for effective communication in the report? AK. AK, what's your pick? Sorry, your voice is faintly somehow. Maybe you're far from your mic or your...
Yeah, I'm still thinking, sir.
Okay. Oh, you're still thinking. Quite... All right. As you think through, let's go for AA. AA was your pick. Which of the following is not a guideline for effective communication in the report? You're still thinking
B.
too? Oh, okay.
B.
You decide to go for B. All right. AO, what's your pick?
B.
Okay. AK, are you ready now? Should we still give you some time?
Yeah, B.
Okay, you finally decided B. All right. Okay, LU was your pick. Lara was your pick.
B, sir.
Oh. All right, MM was your pick.
I'll go with B.
Okay. ODO was your pick. Lara, are you there?
Sir?
Yes, sir. B, sir.
Okay, Lara is going for B too. All right, OO, what's your pick?
B for boy.
Everybody, B. Okay, we'll see on Judgment Day. I hope. So finally, last question for the night. What rule does the case study expect students to adopt when writing the report? A fresh graduate looking for employment. B, an external investor evaluating a business. C, a final year student working in a professional practice or secondment. D, a tax consultant giving advisory services. What role does the case study expect students to adopt when writing the report? AK, what's your pick? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
B.
You said B. Excuse me. Said B?
Yes.
Okay. AKB. Oh, pardon me. AA, what's your pick?
C.
Okay. AA is deferring now. Went for C. AO, what's your pick?
C.
Okay. AO is going for C. EO, EA, are you back? Are you with us? EA is still on the call but muted. All right. Maybe asleep because he had a hectic day.
I'm changing to C as well.
Okay. AK has changed his mind from B to C. All right. Final answer C. Though you can still change. We've not seen the answer. You can still come back to your B if you want. Okay. So Lara, let's go for Lara. Ellie, what's your pick?
I'll take C.
Go for C also. All right. MM, what's your pick?
C.
You sure?
I don't know how to pick.
You want to follow the majority, Abi? Follow the crowd.
I wanted to pick B, but I don't know. Let me go with C.
Want to go with the crowd. Okay. Don't forget, if the crowd fails it, you also fail. So, all right. ODO, what's your pick?
C.
Wow, affirmative. So sure of the C with his response. Okay. Finally, OO, what's your pick?
C, sir. C.
Everybody went for C. Virtually all the options, everybody resonates with the same. Okay, fantastic. Let's go. Judgment Day. Number 1. What is the maximum total score obtainable in the ICAN case study exams based on the 25 skill boxes? Correct answer is C. Okay, AKS, AKAAO, LU, MM. Okay, MM picked B. All right. So the correct answer is C. Each of these 25 skill assessment box is graded on a scale of 0 to 4 with superior achievement earning 4 marks. So 25 boxes by 4 is 100 total. So MM picked B. 75 is incorrect, which a lot of people were confused about. So 75 is incorrect because arbitrary number not tied to the system is why it's incorrect. So the answer is C. OO also chose C. So ODO chose C. I think take note of that, is 100. All right. Good try. Number 2. Which of the following statements best describes a superior achievement grade? I think virtually everybody got this. Good try, everybody. So B is relevant evidence for most criteria, at least 4. So you need to provide 4 superior achievements, superior arguments for each box. So we'll be speaking to that and full understanding of the requirements. So a superior achievement grade means the candidate has shown clear, accurate understanding and met at least 4 criteria effectively, which is 4 discussions under each box. Good understanding. Number 3, in the case study exams, in the ICAN case study, how many executive summary assessment boxes are used to assess the summary of the report? The correct answer is 5. Everybody got that clearly, which is good. Good. The executive summary is evaluated using 5 distinct assessment boxes. These assess how well the summary reflects the requirements and integrates analysis. Good pick. Number 4, which of the following is not a guideline of effective communication in the report? Correct answer is B. Everybody chose B, and that is correct. Explanation is that effective communication in a professional report must avoid informal or casual language. It must be clear, professional, and to the point. So B is not the correct not option. This is specifically discouraged. Exactly. Finally, what rule does the case study expect students to adopt when writing the report? Correct answer is C. Yeah, it was stated explicitly in the study text. So if an IS student working in professional practice or secondment. So the ICAN case study expects students to respond as if they are in a real-world professional role, like if an IS student working in an accounting firm or on secondment in an organization. Excellent. I think virtually everybody did well and understands the assessment procedure chapter. So virtually everybody, just scored 80%. And I don't mind if you do that, replicate 80% in the exam. That will make a lot of sense. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of assessment procedure, and we're left with 2 chapters to close for the diet. But most importantly, you guys need to practice, practice, and practice.